Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Bravely Default. Last time, we completed every single sub-scenario in Chapter 7 by revisiting Lord De Rosso, who was accompanied by Victor, where we had an interesting duo battle, and then we went and sparred with Idia's family, and Kamizumi, who's basically her family as well. And it was a nice little tearjerker, where we got to kind of have the mantle handed to us in another world once more. And obviously, it's weird that Idia's on Pirate right now, but we have swapped everyone's job over to something completely new, as today we are going to be leveling a few new jobs, getting a few new support abilities, and then we're going to be tackling every single crystal that is here in Chapter 7. There's really nothing new about them, and you just go to those dungeons again and awaken the crystals. There's really nothing that interesting about any of them. So I'm just going to be compiling them all into one video. So I guess kind of think of this job leveling segment as kind of the main event, though I have two main goals with this. And honestly, I don't know which one I'm going to finish first. Goal number 1, get everyone to level 90. Not job level 90, can't reach that. But I want to hit level 90. The reason for that is because, the trials ahead are going to be even tougher than the ones we had here in Chapter 7, and I want to be prepared for that just in base stats, as I was still struggling with my evasion and agility to land what I wanted. So getting to level 90 seems like a good starting point. Now, that is really close to level cap, but I don't think I really need to be level 99, which is the level cap right now. I think level 90 will be fine, and we'll leave the 9 remaining levels for whatever else might happen. But I also have a few ideas for what I want to level up in terms of jobs for each character. Idia, I kind of want to give her the ability to become a magic damage dealer at some point, so getting her stuff like Axe Lore from Pirate, maybe Black Mage leveled up higher, maybe Conjure higher level, or Arcanist or whatnot. That seems to be kind of what I might be aiming for with her. Ring a Bell, he's currently on Performer. I'm mostly just going to be leveling up the remaining support casters and whatnot for him. So Performer, probably Time Mage. We might give him access to Arcanist or Templar or whatnot. We'll figure it out. Agnes is on Summoner currently, as this is a job that I have not given any spotlight to outside of just acquiring the spells. So I want to showcase the best way to use the summoning spells, at least in my opinion, so I'll be leveling it up on her. Other than that, though, she'll probably go and grab some abilities from Spirit Master so I can get Holy One. I might try to cap Vampire on her so she has a decent physical option, but we'll see. Tiz is going to be leveling up Templar because that's another job that I have not really showcased in its best light, so giving him the ability to level up Templar and showcase it seems like a good first step. And in terms of anything else, he'll probably be leveling Dark Knight, so I can do actually, no, not Dark Knight. He's already got Dark Knight level 14. So maybe Red Mage. We'll kind of jump around with Tiz. I've almost got him to a point where I've wanted him, so we'll see. Anyway, in terms of what we're going to be doing to level up, if you watched my previous level up session, pretty much nothing has changed. We've got the Growth A gone. If you have Norende Village, you can use this. We've got the Taunt Bangle to increase enemy encounter rate, Scale Hairpin to increase our first strike, our Alarm Earrings to lower first strikes for enemies, and then we have Agnes equipped with Obliterate. Make sure you're at least level 73, and you'll be able to rip through these mobs here in Florum Gardens, or just right outside of Florum, with not much problem. I'm going to be doing exactly what I did last time, where I just start grinding and then showcasing you the jobs that we complete and going over their abilities if we have not done so. So, I'll see you at the end of this grinding session. Okay, with Idia now at level 12 with Pirate, she has access to Axe Lore, which is exactly what I wanted to grab for her. So we're going to now move her over to Black Mage, as this is where she's going to be getting most of her black magic attacks. So, here we go. Okay, so our first mastery of the day goes to Ring a Bell and Performer. Now, we've gotten Agnes to job level 11 with Performer, so we haven't seen the level 12 through 14 abilities, so let's go ahead and go over them real quick. At job level 12, you obtain Save Singing MP, which will lower the MP cost of singing by 50%. This is their specialty. So if you want to have the performer skills on another job, but you don't want to have performer as your main job, you can run this to get the discounted MP that the performer normally has. This is actually fairly useful if you're going to be spamming their buffs quite often, as they can be pretty MP hungry. Do note that this costs 2 support points, so keep that in mind when making a build. At level 13, they obtain Zero Sum, which will reduce the BP to 0 for either all enemies or all allies who have 1 or more BP. Basically, what this means is that it will put everyone who has 1 or more BP back down to 0. This can aid you in boss fights like what we had with Brave, where he likes to default to 2, maybe even 3 BP, and then unload all of his attacks at once. You can use this to bring him back down to 0 to either force him to attack and put himself in the negative, or force him to continuously default, making it to where it's really hard for him to actually get an action out. That's probably one of the fewer uses for it, but, this is a pretty niche ability all the same. At job level 14, their capstone ability is My Hero. This will raise all allies' BP by 1. It costs 2 BP to do this, but this is something you can do. This ability works really, really well with the merchant ability Low Leverage, which will lower the cost of every single ability by half. So My Hero only costs 1 BP to use, and it raises everyone's BP by 1. So it kind of equalizes itself out for the user, but for everyone else, it's a benefit. So, you can use this, you can synergize this with Merchant, you can synergize it with the BP recovery that we used on Red Mage last episode. There's a few ways you can use this. It's a pretty interesting ability. Yeah, so that's Performer done with Ring a Bell. So next up, I'm going to move him over to Time Mage, so he can gain access to abilities like Re-Raise or Asunaga, because that was one thing I kind of had a blind spot on a few episodes back, and I kind of want to rectify that. Now, Tiz has gotten job level 14 on Templar. I think our other highest level one was Ring a Bell with level 9. So let's go ahead and go over the Cliff's Notes of 10 through 14. Critical Amp does pretty much exactly what you think. It's 2 support points to basically increase the damage dealt from critical attacks to be 2.5 times. This is pretty useful if you're not hitting damage cap, but you hit critical hits quite often. Or if you're utilizing Bravely Second, because then the damage cap is removed, so you get more use out of this. So pick and choose, it's pretty situational. BP limit up will raise the amount of BP that you can obtain to 4. This can allow you to be a little bit more greedy when it comes to fully braving, as it won't send you as far into the negative as you might normally, especially if you've gotten up to 4 BP entirely. If you brave fully, you can immediately act the next turn with 1 extra BP. It's pretty useful. The downside is you actually have to build up to it, so if you're going to run this and get full use out of it, make sure you have a BP battery so you can get to this number more frequently. Desperation at level 12. Attack by adding the value of your physical defense to your physical attack. However, your physical defense will be reduced to minimum for that turn. Basically, this is kind of a final attempt to take down an enemy, or if you're about to stillness, you can use this attack because you're not going to be able to take damage. It's a good way for Templar to actually deal pretty high damage without needing to rely on any other job or job build. So use it as you will. At level 13, they obtain Armor Lore, which will raise the aptitude for armor specifically to S rank, which will give users of armor more defense and allow them to live a little bit longer. At their capstone ability, which is Heaven's Gate, will unleash light attacks that increase in number according to your BP and will strike random enemies. This ability is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It costs 3 BP to use, and it's just not good. It's not very good. Yeah, I mean, if you're fighting a single target, it might be pretty useful. 3 BP to use this? Yeah, no thank you. But on a brighter note, Tiz is done with Templar, which means we can move him on to another job. I think I'm going to move him over to... let's go ahead and move him over to Ninja. If I want to go ahead and have, like, dual ninja compositions, this might not be a bad way of doing it. So, we'll put him on that for right now. Not far after Tiz was done with Templar, Agnes mastered Summoner. Now, I won't go over every single thing Summoner can do because we've literally not leveled up this job at all. But what I'll go ahead and say is that I'll be showcasing Summoner later this episode against the Crystal bosses. So I'm going to leave what Summoner can do for that point and just show you what they can do rather than telling you. So we're going to leave this for a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to send Agnes over to Spirit Master so she can learn at least up to Holy One, which is, to remind myself, would be level 9. We'll probably go ahead and push her to cap. Why not? Alrighty, Idia is now at level 14 Black Mage. We already know what they can do, so we're just going to go ahead and move her on to another job. I think for right now, I'm going to remove... I think I'm going to go ahead and actually move her over to... I would move her over to Arcanist for Internment, but that's just maxing out another job. Is that a smart idea? I didn't think this far. I actually thought I would be level 90 by this point and would just move on. But I'm not going to waste this time now. So let's go ahead and get her to... I think I'm actually going to level up her Salve Maker. I have a few ideas of what I want to do with this job, especially if I'm going to be doing some cheese strats, so we'll go ahead and level up Salve Maker for her. Okay, I actually got what I wanted for her much quicker than I anticipated. I forgot Attack Item Amp was level 4, so I'll go ahead and switch over to Conjurer now. This was the last one I had planned, but alright, we got to that much quicker than I thought. Idia's almost done. Next up on the job mastery is Ring a Bell with Time Mage. So now we're going to go ahead and move him over to... Where are you? Red Mage, there we are. Get him some Red Mage going. Alright, Tiz now has Ninja at job level 14. And honestly, he is at a point now where I don't think I really need to level anything else up on him. So I'm just gonna move him over to Vampire. I mean, it's nearly done. Honestly, it won't matter what he gets. He's in a perfectly good spot from this point onward. Next up on the finished category is Agnes with Spirit Master. She has almost every magical job in the game at a very respectable level, the only one really being White Mage. But honestly, I don't really think I need to level up White Mage on her. But she's got Spirit Master, Arcanist, Sword Master, Pirate, Red Mage. Yeah, she's looking pretty good. I guess I'll go ahead and move her over to, I don't know, I guess I could move her over to White Mage a little bit, but mastering it is not going to be something that I'm going to prioritize heavily, so, yeah, that's fine. The main one I'm looking to finish right now is Idia with Conjurer. Okay, it looks like we hit level 90 first before we finish our jobs, so I'm going to head over to the difficulty and turn off EXP, because I'm not going to try and gain any more levels. And finally, we obtained job level 14 with Idia on Conjurer. That's the last job I wanted to obtain during this session, so honestly, this went pretty well, as I got to level 90 and finished all the jobs I wanted in pretty quick succession. The level grinding plus the commentary I've done on each of these jobs just added up to a little over 30 minutes, which honestly isn't that bad. So I'll take what I can get. I'm going to go ahead and build a quick team real quick, and then I'll see you at our first crystal. So I think we're actually going to start today off with our, Crystal Awakening adventure here in the Temple of Water. Now, real quick, let's go ahead and briefly go over what job choices I made. Now, before you judge me, this is mostly just kind of a meme build. Honestly, this build has no real synergy at all. I'm just going to be kind of throwing a bunch of random crap at these bosses because honestly, none of these guys are really that big of a threat. But let's go ahead and go over this real quick. Idia has not changed at all. She is the same Idia that we know and love. Build is pretty much the same. The only major difference is I gave her the crystal vest rather than the brave suit, as I'm going to be giving that to Ringabel and Tiz. Sorry, spoilers. Oh, hang on. Tiz, let's give you a Masamune. There you go, buddy. Alright. Ringabel is on Vampire. Big surprise. With singing as his job command, with save singing MP and physical defense 30% up as his support abilities. He's mostly going to be our singer and our healer for this build, as he's the only one who has access to any form of healing, but he'll also be our buffer if we want to increase physical defenses, magical defenses, if we want to give people BP, he'll be our guy. Anyes is going as Conjurer, but she'll be showcasing summoning instead of black magic, using the support abilities Axle or Phantom Weapon two-handed to deal as much magical damage as humanly possible. But she'll be doing summoning magic instead, which will be our first and probably only time where we're really going to be showcasing summoning magic. We'll also be taking advantage of Invocation, as we want to raise our magic attack power to as high as it can get, because summoning magic needs as much help as it can get. And speaking of help that it needs, we are giving her the gold hairpin, as this will lower the MP consumption of the summon and invoking magic. We also gave her the giant axe instead of the foxtail, as I want that extra 16 damage that the giant axe gives as just a way of pushing her over that damage limit. Tiz is Swordmaster, running Holy Arts. He's going to be playing pretty much a pure group-wide tank, having speed 30% up and slow and steady in order to allow him to act first as much as possible. Pairing that with the Hermes shoes, he should be able to act fairly quickly. The Brave Suit will give him the ability to cast Rampart pretty early on with really no side effects, so this is a pretty decent build, especially since it allows him to tank physical attacks pretty well. Again, this build does not have a lot of synergy, but these bosses are also not that big of a threat, so we're just going to be kind of messing around. If things go horribly wrong, I'll make some adjustments, but it really shouldn't be that bad. I'm going to go ahead and skip all of this dialogue, because none of it changes at all. Hello, Ahsoka. Welcome back. We're going to kick your butt again. I'm not going to entertain these bosses all too much. I'm pretty much just going to get straight to the point. We're going to just rip them apart. We're not going to entertain them at any point. We're just going to rip into them. Like, this is not going to be a hard encounter. We're going to raise... Actually, we'll raise physical attack. One tier. We'll invoke a Deus Ex for Anyes, and then Tiz is going to use a Rampart to give us a physical defense barrier. Now, Ahsoka doesn't really have any good way of dealing damage to us, thankfully. Bewitching Voice, Lamia's Tiara gets rid of that. And now we're pretty much just going to go on the offense. I don't really see any real reason not to. We're just going to increase physical attack again. And then Anyes is going to cast up some summoning. We're going to do some Deus Ex attacks themselves. And we'll see how we do. Buff power. Idia's going to be doing an insane amount of damage. I doubt Ahsoka will even live this. I'm going to be honest. Nope, she did. Alright, Bewitching Voice, again, kind of worthless. And there's Deus Ex finishing off the boss. Yep, okay, cool. That's one boss done. 3 more to go. Okay, we got a party chat. Rest, fear the weary. Whew. The first rite of awakening went over without a hitch. You seem to be getting quite used to this, Anyes. Well, practice makes perfect, does it not? And I've had lots of practice by now. But are you alright? You look so tired every time. I shall be fine, for I feel that I have finally begun to grasp the knack to this rite. The knack, huh? If only we could say the same of those monsters that possess the crystals. I can't help thinking they're getting more powerful each time. You too, ring a bell? I was thinking the same thing. I don't know, we took her down, we took Ahsoka down in like, what, 2 turns? I don't know, they might be getting weaker. We've battled them again and again, learning their habits and tendencies, but each time it's more difficult than the last. Glad it's not only me, Idia. How about you, Tiz? Shh, looks like Anyes fell asleep. You're right. Let's get her a little sleep. Yes, she needs some rest. Well, while she's resting, we're going to go ahead and move towards... Let's go ahead and go towards the Wind Crystal. I'll see you there. Okay, I know it's been like 5 seconds for you, but it's actually been a few minutes for me, and hopefully Anya's had enough time to rest. Our build is not going to change one bit. We're just going to immediately go in there and rip them apart. Though, again, just in case, we're going to go ahead and save here. But we shouldn't have any real issue here. Okay, with Orthros, we're going to have to plan just a little different. I'm still going to set up Idia to attack one of them. But for right now, we're going to have Ringabel just curse the Ice Orthros, and then we'll have him do a physical attack boost. We're then going to invoke Deus Ex, and then cast Rampart. We're gonna real quick check this. Which one am I cursing? I don't remember. Whatever. She's casting Firaga, which means it'll be hitting the Ice Orthros, so we're just gonna curse that one, and then we're gonna sing. Okay, I got it right that time. I'm gonna go back, play this out, Rampart, speed everything up. They actually will do some damage to us because they do have magic attacks, but we shouldn't have any real issue, as we will outspeed most of them, and Blizzard still works, and they're not gonna be doing much damage to us anyways. Deus Ex. And then we're going to go on the offense here. We're going to take down the Ice Orthros. And then we're going to go ahead and Love Power one more time. And then Anya's, we'll go ahead and just have her cast Susanoo, just in case she goes first. And it's non-elemental, so it'll rip them apart regardless of what she's fighting. But again, I don't think they're actually going to live very long. Okay, that head lived. That's okay. Oh, I made her invoke Susanoo. I was not reading the menu. No! That's fine. That's Commentator's Curse once again. That's okay. We can just curse the regular Orthros and cast Rampart on us again, and we can just delay this as much as humanly possible, as we won't have any real problem at all with this. Love Power, re-up it. Yeah, Tiz is not letting them do anything. So we'll just re-up the curse on Ice Orthros. And then Anya should still have her magic attack up. So yeah, we're just going to have them do what they were going to do earlier. We'll have Ringabel just go ahead and, I don't know, White Winds. It's fine. White Wind, heal everyone up. Okay, instead of invoking, let's go ahead and actually cast the Susanoo ability. That might be a bit better. And then Tiz can just cast Rampart or something. There we go. Give the White Winds. And let's see what happens. Okay, so now we're going to get guarded. That's fine. Now we're going to cast Susanoo and just spam it over and over and over again. As you can see, pretty easy max damage with summoning, but it requires a lot of buffs. But now we just gotta wait a little bit longer. I'll see you at the end of this encounter. It's pretty monotonous. Alright, cool, perfect. And we get more EXP for our troubles, and we're hitting 91. Nice. Arctic Wind, Bomb Arm, nice. With Orthros down, that's another Crystal Awoken, and a new party chat. Time for a rest. Are you alright, Onias? Yes, I'm fine. Just a bit weary. I'm afraid you won't last much longer if you keep going on like this. He's right. Perhaps you should pace yourself a bit. No. The crystals must be awakened with the utmost haste. For only then shall we dispel the darkness, close the great chasm, and render aid to Tiz. Yes. But what harm would there be in getting a little rest? Huh? But we have to awaken the crystals, then enter the Holy Pillar before... You're right, Dia. Agnes' well-being is our chief concern right now. I'm worried about her too, you know. I mean, she's a Vestal of the Crystals, and I'm a Crystal Fairy, so of course I'm concerned. Eri, we're just worried about Agnes right now. Not Vestals or Fairies or whatever. Now, time to get some rest, okay? Tiz. The leader speaks. I suppose we must follow. Tiz? Our leader? When did that happen? When doesn't matter. Are you opposed to Dia? Nah, I'm all for it. Let's rest up. Yeah, I guess a quick rest at Grand Ship wouldn't hurt anyone, especially since I ran Agnes's MP into the ground after I invoked 4 Susanos. Holy moly. So I guess I'll heal up at Grand Ship, and then I think I'll head over to Everlast Tower. I'm kind of trying to mix up the orders of Awakening Crystals, just so it's not the same thing over and over and over again. And I guess while I'm jumping into the ship and healing up and whatnot, I want to go ahead and talk about something that I'm sure anyone who has, whether you are a veteran of this game or you are a newcomer who is watching this series and experiencing this game for the first time, has thought. And that is, this loop segment of the game is very monotonous, very boring. Why do I have to keep awakening the crystals over and over and over again? Well, trust me, your complaints are heard. I really do not like this segment either. When it comes to awakening the crystals, man, having to awaken 4 crystals was pretty exhausting. Having to awaken more than 8, at least 12 crystals is really, really, really annoying. Especially, like, if you're doing it back-to-back like I am, it hurts the thumb, man. I'm having to, like, change the like, finger that I'm using to mash the button and whatnot. It's not the most comfortable. I guess I understand narratively why it happens. Like, the game is trying to make you feel just as frustrated as the players, as the characters, but I just feel like a game shouldn't aim at making their players purposely frustrated, even if it fits the game's themes and they're supposed to resonate with the character's frustration as well. It doesn't sit right with me. I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on this whole crystal loop segment. Now, the sub-scenarios, especially from this chapter, have been really nice, and it's been nice that the sub-scenarios have changed in terms of, you know, who you're fighting and what's going on. That's been really cool. But the crystals segment, the bosses are pretty boring after maybe their standard fight and then maybe one refight. They don't really add anything. They don't really do anything new. It's very monotonous, pretty boring, and trust me, I have a lot of positive things to say about this game, and this game gets a lot of flack and a lot of critiques for many parts of its story and its gameplay, and this point, the crystals and the loop regarding around the crystals is definitely one where I agree with the critics that it was a miss. But we've reached the Temple of Earth. Let's go ahead and say hi to Gigaslich and take him down and awaken the Earth Crystal.
Look, this crystal has also... I'm not...
Hey, buddy, we gave you one legit fight, and that's about all you're gonna get. I'm going to literally BP spam you into the ground. We're going to set up Holy, and then we are going to immediately Brave. We're going to just instantly spam one more for you on our good old friend Gigaslich, sending him immediately into the negative. I don't even really need to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Sends him into -3, which will put him at -4 once he does an action. Yeah, that works. Then we're going to invoke Deus Ex, because why wouldn't we? And then we'll go ahead and just Rampart with Tiz, because he's gonna try and hit us with something. So we'll just put him down. That puts him into -4, which means he can't even act entirely. So that works. You can't even use it. Nice. Obviously, negative power still gets through because that doesn't cost BP, but that's okay. We're going to just immediately begin hitting, and whether this actually kills him or not, I really don't care. Unfortunately, there's no light-based summon, so we'll just use Promethean Fire because that's cheaper than Susanoo. There we go. Idia's not going to kill this guy. He has a lot of HP unless she crits over and over and over again. So Anya should be able to finish him off, though. Yeah, 7 to 8k, not the greatest, even with the invocation. Yeah, I'm not proud of that. Thankfully, we do have Tiz here. who I guess could use Giant Slayer or something, but I'm actually just, yeah, why not? Well, we'll just do like Parch Strike and see if that kills. No, it didn't. That's fine. Whatever. We're going to just send the Giga Slitch back into the negative just a little bit, and then we'll have him Love Power and also Curse. Why not? We'll send him back into -3. Physical attack up, Curse. Fizz can re-up Rampart, I guess? This build is working surprisingly well, despite the fact that I said that it's kind of a meme build, but hey, you know, if it works, it works. I'll take it. Obviously I don't recommend you use summoning at all, honestly, but hey, I mean, I'm showcasing it. I wanted to showcase every job in an encounter at least once, and this is pretty much a summoner's chance. So, I'm giving it its chance. Another Giant Axe. If you want to make a strong magical build or an axe build, there you go. Okay. 3 crystals down, and of course another party chat. Probably have something to do with resting. Next time. Whew, that's that. But I wanted to ask you something, Aerie. What, Tiz? The rite was completed without a hitch, so... Yes, I know, but I was wondering, how many crystals must we awaken? How many times must we enter the Holy Pillar? And how many worlds must we cross into? It seems never-ending. I've already lost count, to be honest. Oh, well... That last crystal we awakened was the 15th. We've entered the Holy Pillar 3 times now. Since we first met, this marks the 4th world we've crossed into. Oh, you people sure have good memories. It's simply a matter of counting, and believing that next time will be the one to end it all. Yes, and Aerie, I trust next time will be the one. Oh, yes, of course. 15 crystals. I'm pretty confident we can make that a 16th this episode, so let's head over to the Mithril Mines. Having to walk through the Mithril Mines and the Underflow again, over and over again, this is the 4th time we've had to do it. This, again, is another reason why I'm not a big fan of the crystal loop. The ever-changing sub-scenarios is a nice thing, but this is no bueno for me. This is not my favorite thing to do, no. Go ahead and heal up here. Save 112 hours on Chapter 7. You know what? That's not that bad.
Look, this crystal has also... I'm not...
Alright, Shao-Gamar, we actually kind of have to pay attention with you. Time to count some turns. We'll go ahead and give ourselves Sandaga. I guess I'll have Ringabel default for turn 1. We'll have Anya's defaults. And we'll have Tiz go ahead and just set up Rampart. Why not? Rampart. Soulsuck, his drains do go through Rampart, regrettably, so that is something we need to worry about. But Soulsuck is not really that big of a deal. We'll go ahead and just do 2 Love Powers and a Curse, because his turn will be coming up soon anyways. We'll go ahead and invoke our Magic Attack boost. And then we'll see what he does this turn. Soulsuck again. Oh my goodness, that got rid of most of his MP. I guess that's what I get for not defaulting, right? We'll default with Idia. We'll go ahead and cast, I don't know, Little Devil, I guess, to give her an extra boost in stats, but I don't really see much of a point. Bloodsuck, man, he's going for Ringabel. What did he ever do to you? I guess I'll go ahead and re-up the Love Power. And we'll re-up the Invocation. Why not? Transform. We now have everyone default. Energy Burst, which will be blocked by Rampart, and then we go crazy. We need to re-up the Curse, unfortunately, but that's not a big deal. Then we summon our Deus Ex to deal maximum damage with no effort. We then can just cast Rampart and we'll be perfectly alright. This actually should be enough to kill, because Idia, even not critting, should be doing some considerable damage. And then Anya should be able to finish him off with maximum damage from Deus Ex. If not, that's okay. Alright, cool. Perfect, perfect, perfect. More EXP, and we hit level 92, which is really good. We get a Reflect Ring, and we can awaken the Fire Crystal now. And with the fourth and final crystal of this world completed and awakened, we get one last party chat here. The fourth time. We've awakened all 4 crystals in this world. That marks the 16th since we first began. And once again, the Holy Pillar must have appeared in the South Sea. The 4th Holy Pillar. Yes, and I hope this will be the last one. Right, Aerie? Yes, of course. This time will be the one. I hope you're right. Now, the only thing left to do is to deal with the problem once we get back. Once we get back? To Grand Ship? What, is she in need of repair again? Yes, there's that, but Dads and Zats are handling the repairs. And I couldn't be happier with their work so far. Then what problem are you talking about? The Proprietress. You know, how to get her down from the hold when we enter the Holy Pillar. Ah, that's a problem. A very difficult one, too. I remember the fuss she made last time. Dads ended up having to pick her up and carry her down there. And just the other day, Dads and Zats were debating something. I'm not sure what, but I'd wager it was about the Proprietress. I wonder what the plan is. Oh, I can't wait to find out. Well then, I suppose the Proprietress is in good hands. That leaves us to head into the Holy Pillar. What are we waiting for? Let us go.
Who might you be, child? I am the vessel of wind, Agnès Oblige.
Ah, I see it now. My, but you've grown, dear. Florum is more beautiful for your visit. I say, there have been reports that the sea is once again clear. Is this your doing, Wind Vestal?
Yes. Forgive my intrusion, but as a Vestal, it was my duty to awaken the water crystal.
Oh, how wonderful. So, where is Olivia now?
What? Oh no, I fear we are not here together.
I see. Since she went into hiding half a year past, I've heard no more than that she is alive and well. Of late, even such meager tidings have ceased.
They have?
If you should see her again, please ask her to return to Florum.
Sorry, before we head off the Florum, I just wanted to go ahead and show that off. Also, Sylvie is here in this world for some reason. Which is interesting because she's not in the previous world. Hello. Hello there, Sylvie. I just wanted to go ahead and show that off because we haven't really seen what the matriarch said if we had awakened the water crystal prior to talking to her. I just really wanted to quickly show that off. So, one more thing I wanted to show off before we head to the Holy Pillar is going to this world's version of Grand Ship at nighttime. Going to the Drunken Pig will net you this. Praline, after doing her sub-scenario, will be here singing to her fans. She has quit the Black Blades and is just here enjoying singing to people for, just to have fun. Woohoo, Praline, let's go wild! This is something that I don't see a lot of people talking about, but it's pretty cool. Talking to Praline. Ooh, thank you all, you're the best. Now for my next number, Love in the Crossfire. This is pretty cool. It doesn't really have any, lore implications. There won't be a cutscene that triggers here and whatnot. This is just a fun little Easter egg, and I like it. Anyways, I don't want to give any more screen time to Praline, so I'll see you at the Holy Pillar. And with that last little piece of information done and out of there, that's everything here for us in Chapter 7. This is easily one of my favorite chapters in the game, mostly because of its sub-scenarios. There's no story progress at all for the main scenario, but the sub-scenarios make it worth it. But yeah. We're going to grit our teeth till the very end if this doesn't work. Now let's go ahead and head inside.
How many times now have we seen this light? Where are Dats and Zats?
I had them take refuge in the hold. Okay, everyone. Don't forget to watch over me. This is going to work this time. You'll see.
Yes, of course.
Oh, wondrous and beautiful first flight! My road awaits your divine radiance! Let's keep watch.
What?
We should watch over Aerie.
Right.